Hello, good evening all. Welcome to another video with Pratham Test Prep. This is your host Sushila Chaudhary, and today we will be discussing about a new scheme for minor rape victims. So, the Women and Child Development Ministry of Indian Government has announced the approval of a new scheme aimed to providing support to minor rape victims who have been abandoned by their family, often due to pregnancy, and have no other measures to support themselves. So the Union Minister of Women and Child Development, Smriti Irani, recently launched a scheme called Scheme for Critical Care and Support for Assessing Justice to Rape, Gang Rape Survivors or Minor Girls who get pregnant. Alright, so the scheme will offer shelter, food, transportation for court hearing, legal aid and other forms of assistance to these survivors. The Union Minister Smriti Irani relied on the data provided by the National Crime Records Bureau. The NCRB data shows that in 2021, over 52,000 cases were reported under the POCSO Act, with 64% of them being sexual assault cases, and the majority of these cases, that is the 99%, were committed against women, many of whom became pregnant and faced physical and mental health concerns. The situation was further worsened when they were abandoned by their families or became orphaned. While addressing the gathering, the Union Minister also stated that the establishment of additional 415 fast track court under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, that is or POCSO Act, has been crucial step in expediting access to justice to minor victims of rape, according to the minister, that is Smriti Irani. The ministry for this particular scheme has allocated a fund of 74.1 crores. The goal is to recognize the physical and emotional trauma experienced by minor victims of sexual assault, and particularly in cases where they become pregnant. The scheme will fall under the umbrella scheme of Nirbhaya scheme, and the administrative structure of Mission Vatsalya will be leveraged in collaboration with the state governments and child care institutions to provide support on the ground. Now to understand this better, let's dive deep into three particular things that we have talked about here. Before we do that, we'll obviously talk about the key provisions of this particular scheme. But after that, we will talk about the POCSO Act, the Nirbhaya Fund, as well as the Mission Vatsalya. So let's dive a little deeper into this particular scheme only and see the key provisions. So the key provisions: the scheme aims to address the physical and emotional trauma experienced by minor victims, especially in cases where they become pregnant. Childcare institutions which are set up under the Juvenile Justice Act 2015 will provide a safe space specifically tailored to the needs of the girl, with designated case workers assigned to their case. And in cases where the survivor does not wish to keep the child will stay at CCI and be made available for adoption based on the survivor's decision. Additionally, an additional support will be available to minor victims to the age of 18 at CCIs and in aftercare facilities till the age of 23. Now, under the scheme, a comprehensive range of other services will be provided to girl child victim and her newborn. Now, these services include access to education, police assistance, maternity and infant care, psychological counseling, legal support, insurance coverage. It will not be mandatory. One key step that is to be noted here is it will not be mandatory for the girl child victim to have a copy of the first information report or FIR to avail the benefits of the scheme, although it will be the responsibility of those who are implementing the scheme to ensure the information is provided to the police and an FIR is registered in such a case. The ministry has provided these services under the scheme to minor child victims. Now let's see who will qualify as minor victims, and for that we'll have to look in the POCSO Act. So let's have a brief overview of the POCSO Act. Now, POCSO stands for Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. The POCSO Act was enacted in 2012 with the aim or with the purpose of providing a comprehensive legal framework for the protection of children from sexual offences, exploitation and pornography. The Act recognizes both girls and boys can be victim of sexual offences and provides equal protection to all children. The Act defines a child or a minor as anybody who is below the age of 18 years. The offences covered under this Act the POCSO actually covers a wide range of offences against children, including but not limited to sexual assault, sexual harassment, using a child for pornographic purposes, or engaging in child pornography. The Act provides for establishment of child helplines and the reporting of offences through designated authorities, ensuring a prompt response and assistance to the victim. Now, the Act particularly emphasizes on the importance of reporting such offences and provides for establishment of designated child welfare committee and special juvenile police units to handle the cases and coordinate rehabilitation measures for child victims. Now, with the offences, the Act prescribes stringent punishments for the offenders, including imprisonment for various terms depending on the severity of the offence. It also provides for the mandatory reporting of the offence and the protection of the identity of the child during the proceedings. The Act, under the provisions of the Act, it mandates establishment of special courts for speedy trial. Such courts, additional courts like we have discussed in the beginning of the video, 415 additional fast track courts have been established. So these are established under the POCSO Act. So the Act actually mandates the establishment of these courts for speedy trial of the offences, and these courts are responsible for ensuring that there is a sensitive handling of the case, particularly involving the child victims. The POCSO also provides child-friendly procedures. It emphasizes that child-friendly procedures during the investigation and trial of the cases promotes a better response from the child victim. These courts, the Act promotes use of video recordings of the victim statement and allows for the presence of a support person or a counselor to assist the child throughout the process. The Act also emphasizes on the need for awareness education programs to prevent child sexual abuse and child sexual offences. It encourages schools, communities and the media to play an active and an important role in spreading awareness and educating children about their rights and personal safety. It also emphasizes on educating and creating awareness amongst the other members of the society. Now let's look at the Nirbhaya Fund, which under which this scheme will be funded. So the Nirbhaya Fund was established in 2013 following the brutal gang rape of December 2012. So after this, the fund was named after the victim using, while the case was proceeding, there was a pseudonym used for the victim called Nirbhaya, which means fearless. It was done to protect her identity. The incident of this gang rape sparked widespread protest across India, demanding improved safety and security provisions for women, and in response the Government of India created Nirbhaya Fund to finance initiatives aimed at enhancing women's safety and implementing measures to address gender-based violence. The Nirbhaya Fund is a dedicated fund that provides financial resources to state for programs focused on women's protection. The Women and Child Development Ministry serves as the nodal body responsible for the managing of expenditure of the particular fund. Initially, when this fund was introduced, the ministry directly provided cash grants, but the process has since changed. Now, the ministry evaluates the programs proposed by the states under the Nirbhaya scheme, approves them and then recommends them to the Department of Economic Affairs for allocation of the funding. Now, even though this fund was created for the betterment of women, the fund has not been utilized properly. The utilization of Nirbhaya fund by the states has been relatively low. Only 20% of the funds provided by the Union Women and Child Development Ministry have been utilized by the states in all these years. Now what does this indicate? This indicates that there has been limited implementation of programs and initiatives aimed at improving women's safety and security despite the availability of the funds. Now, right now, if you see, efforts are being made to streamline the utilization of the Nirbhaya fund and ensure the allocated resources are effectively utilized to address the pressing issue of women's safety in the country. And one such example is the current scheme that we are discussing. Now, let's see what does now, since this fund, the current fund that we are talking about, is governed under Mission Vatsalya, let's exactly dive deep into what exactly Mission Vatsalya is. So Mission Vatsalya is an umbrella scheme for child protection services in India. It was established in the year 2021-22 and serves as a comprehensive framework to secure a healthy and a happy childhood for every child in our country. The mission aims to provide opportunities for children to discover their full potential and flourish in all aspects of their life. Historically, if we talk about it, the Ministry of Women and Child Development has implemented various schemes for children in need of protection, such as the Juvenile Justice Program, the Integrated Program for Street Children, and the Scheme for Assistance to Children's Home. In 2010, these schemes were merged into one scheme called the Integrated Child Protection Scheme, which later became the Child Protection Service Scheme in 2017, and finally it was renamed as Mission Vatsalya in the year 2021 and 22. The objective of Mission Vatsalya is to secure a healthy and a happy childhood for every child in our country. It aims to provide opportunities for children to discover their full potential, flourish in all aspects of life. The mission also strives to create a sensitive, supportive and synchronized ecosystem for protection for the development of children. Under the Mission Vatsalya scheme, there are various components and initiatives that are being implemented to improve the functioning of statutory bodies, to strengthen the service delivery structures, upscale institutional care and services, promote non-institutional community-based care, provide emergency outreach services, and conducting training and capacity building activities. The Mission Vatsalya emphasizes family-based non-institutional care for children in difficult circumstances. It encourages reducing the institutionalization of children and considers it as a measure of last resort. So the mission, the Vatsalya mission aligns with the principles outlined in the Juvenile Justice Act 2015, and it aims to achieve the sustainable development goals related to a well-being of a child. Now, through Mission Vatsalya, the Indian government aims to create a supportive and protective environment for children and ensuring their rights and welfare and overall development. Now, to conclude, what we can see, overall the current scheme in discussion signifies a crucial step towards providing comprehensive support, access to justice and rehabilitation for minor rape survivors who have been abandoned. The ministry has also, while making this announcement about this scheme, has made an announcement that they will be releasing guidelines for the scheme in the coming days, providing further details of its implementation and operation. And once such these details will be out, we'll have another session to discuss that. In conclusion, this current scheme underscores the government's commitment to addressing the physical, emotional and legal needs of these survivors and working towards a safer and supportive environment for women and children in the country. And it is a very welcome step towards the utilization of Nirbhaya fund as well. So that's all from our side today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the content, please like, share and comment. And if you please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching.